So my name is John Armeni. I've been coaching high school football for 24 years in several different communities. I've been the head football coach here at Western Reserve now for 4 seasons. This is an interesting year. We have quite a mix of older guys that have a lot of experience coming off of 2 very good football seasons, paired with a talented group of young skill guys. And normally you get a class that has both skill guys and linemen. We would consider that a pretty loaded class. We have a lot of good older linemen and some very good young skill guys. So right now we're hoping the experience up front helps our young skill guys get their seasoning and get their footing early in the season. Well, expectations are always high. I'm someone that likes to not put the cart before the horse, so right now we're just trying to be 1-0. But expectations are always high. We want to be a good football team. Our kids have gotten accustomed the last few years to hanging banners and making the playoffs, and that's certainly something that they want to continue to do. But I'm also a big process guy, so I believe that you got to get better, one day at a time, and that you want to try to progress in a way that you are peaking at the end of the football season. So we want to be the best version of ourselves at the end of the season, and I think that's an especially important idea to portray to the kids when you have young guys playing varsity football, because they're not going to have success right off the rip. They need to work hard and get better. So that's been our messaging so far this summer. Losing Chris a few days before we started summer camp was a pretty big gut punch. To be honest with you, I can't remember a bigger gut punch to start the summer practice schedule. In all the years that I've done this, I can't remember one that hurt more than that one. Not only because what Chris has meant to our program and obviously to our team, but me personally. I'm very close with Chris. He's a fantastic young man, and we kind of built our football team around his strengths. Now, one of the things that I've said over the years, and I've said it a lot this summer, is good football coaches don't control the hand they're dealt. They only control how they play it. So we had 2 choices. We could have, cried and whined and felt sorry for ourselves, or you can get to work. I surround myself with guys on our coaching staff that really got to work, probably at one of our lowest moments. And the progression of the team has been very good so far. So we're relying heavily on a sophomore quarterback, Dominic Crute. All of our staff, thinks very highly of him, and we knew he was going to be special. He's just one of those kids that gets it. He has a very high football IQ. He's athletic. He's a hard worker. He has a lot of intangibles. But this is not exactly the script that we would have wrote for him. We thought maybe we'd be able to get him some seasoning his sophomore year and then rely heavily on him his junior year. But life happens. He's answered the call. He's done a great job. Our older guys around him have really helped him so far this summer. And he's relied heavily on a senior leader that we're expecting big things from, Nate Alexander. So Nate has taken on a big role in our offense so far this summer, and he's really helped Dom make some plays early on in a 7-on-7 season and in summer camp. So we also are relying very heavily on those offensive linemen and those tight ends. We have 3 good tight ends in Noah Gonzalez, Hunter Taylor, and Wyatt Len. All 3 of those guys can block. They can run routes and catch passes. We got 4 starters back on our O-line. Jackson Young, Joe Rovnak, Dylan Crute, and Alton Ramsey. And to be honest with you, the one that has impressed me so far the most this summer is the one new guy in that group, and that's Mikey Blair. Mikey worked really hard all off season to get his body ready to play varsity football, and he plays the game like his hair's on fire. So he's done a great job too. So it's been progressing. Defensively, we have a nice mix of returning starters with some talented young guys. Our linebacking core is pretty deep in athletics, so we're excited about those guys. We get a couple of starters back up front on our D-line, led by Caleb Sin, who led our team in TFLs last year. And right now, we're really focused on getting that secondary, more experience and get them a little bit better, coming into week 1 here. Well, I think we need to be a little bit tougher. I think our young guys, don't understand the bumps and bruises and the mentality you need to play varsity football in Northeastern Ohio. So whenever you have to play freshmen or sophomores, you always worry about how they're going to handle the physical load. So I think we need to be a little bit tougher, and I really think we need to focus on the little things. It's really easy to get distracted by your opponent, by things that you don't control, especially when you start watching previews. So-and-so's got 10 starters back, so-and-so has 30 lettermen back. I'm not one to put a whole lot of, stock and previews, because every coach exaggerates those things, and our kids get distracted by them. So this time of year, it's easy to get distracted on things that you don't control. So we want them to focus on what they do control, and that's just getting better every day.